Hi guys, hope you're doing great this evening. This is Fred and Sheila McCoy
Hey.
with FS Investigates. Today we drove to London to do a story on Mr. Harless, who was shot, where the police went to the wrong home. And as you can see, we went to his house there, and we'll show a video from the news today, and we have a bunch of questions that people have asked, and so we're going to try to answer those as well. So, would you like to add anything?
No, that's pretty much it. You're going to show the news, the latest news.
Okay. Do you want
from today, and then she's going to show the video where we went down, like she said, to the scene of the execution of the search warrant. And then we'll come back. Got a lot of questions, emails, text messages on the video itself.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to try to answer some of them, and we're going to try to get your all's input on it also. See what your thinking is.
Yeah, see what you're all
interesting topic. Sad topic.
Yeah, it is.
Sad for all involved.
It is.
You'll show the news now.
Okay, I'm going to do that right real quick here, guys. So,
leading up to a Southern Kentucky man's death, as police say they were trying to serve a search warrant. 63-year-old Douglas Harless died Monday at his home at 511 Vanzant Road in Laurel County. Now, that street number is different from the one dispatch audio we first brought you last night references multiple times.
This is London PD, 48 Vanzant Road, 489 Vanzant Road. Units on scene can serve search warrant.
And now we're seeing how things unfolded through a neighbor's surveillance camera. But first, some might find this video distressing. It's our top story at 6. The video starts at 11:50 p.m. Monday. London police are heard banging on Harless's door and announcing themselves. They're heard again over the sound of barking dogs. As we speed things up to 11:51, officers are seen moving around Harless's porch as others move to different positions around his home. Then, what sounds like 5 gunshots. And then things get quiet. Several officers are seen exiting the home while others gather in the yard. It's 11:52. From Laurel County dispatch audio we've obtained, we know it's at around this time officers call for assistance.
Vanzant Road, stand by in the area, shots fired.
Where they go?
They were at 49 Vanzant Road, serving a search warrant.
But Kentucky State Police say Harless was shot at 511 Vanzant. This is 511, and 489 is down the road. We spoke off camera with the owner of the property. He tells us nobody has lived in 489 for months.
Shots fired. 489 Vanzant Road. They have EMS going for the perpetrator who's been hit.
KSP says life-saving measures were performed on Harless at the scene, but he was then pronounced dead by the Laurel County coroner. As is standard practice, state police are now investigating Harless's death, and the officer involved is on administrative leave. We filed open records requests for any body camera video from that night, as well as a copy of the search warrant signed off on by the courts.
It's going to be interesting to see the affidavit for the search warrant and the search warrant itself. Again, we've had several questions and comments, and some of them very, very good questions.
yeah, they were.
Yeah, and we're going to go over them. You got that other video? If you want, go ahead and show it with us up there.
Okay.
We do a little walk around.
Yeah.
Is your volume turned all the way up? I hope you all can hear this.
Yeah, the volume's turned up all the way here.
I'm talking about when you turn it on, there's a little microphone that comes up down.
No, that's just to mute you or whatever. That's
okay.
not for that
Go ahead.
reason. And this over here, see, it's 100%. So yeah. So this is the one that we did today, guys.
Okay.
It's like it's froze or something.
Okay, what she'll do is put that in at the back of the video. We'll go ahead. We've got some questions here and some comments.
Okay.
And again, if you guys would, please feel free to, thank you, baby. Let's go.
The comment below on what
Yeah.
they think.
Yeah. We like, some of you guys are pretty smart. And guys, again, condolences to the family.
Mr. Harless.
Condolences to everybody involved. We feel sorry for all of them. There's nobody sure that wanted these kind of outcomes. But one guy wrote, and he said, officer needs to be charged with murder. Guys, or he asked the question, can the officer be charged with murder?
Okay.
And, anything's possible in life, but
Yeah.
not necessarily. If he was just doing his job. I was looking just now, how many officers did you count there, Sheila? 8, 10? Several.
It was there. There were several of them.
Several running around that yard. Now, if doing his job, did he think he was at the right location? Did he fear for his life? That's questions that a person's got to ask. If, and I say if, a mistake was made, it would have been made on the search warrant.
The person who filled out the warrant?
Yeah. The person doing the investigation, make it a little bit smaller.
Okay.
And, if an officer is on that scene and he thinks he has the right to be there and he thinks he's doing his duty and his job, and especially if he's not a supervisor and somebody has told him where to go and what to do, and a lot of times doing these things, they, the rookie, the younger officers and so forth, that's who is the upfront guy. And it's just to see, you can tell a lot about a person when you put them on the front line there and see how they react. But if that person was there and thinking he's doing his job and he's thinking he's at the right house, and he very well may have been. We don't know yet, babe.
Yeah, it's strange because the dispatcher said 489.
We don't know. We comment in the video while we're there. Could these officers have actually been at the right house? Because the landlord says nobody lived at the other one for months. Could they have been at the right house where they wanted to be? And because I find it hard to believe that they mistaken a double wide or a wood frame structure there for a single wide mobile home.
Yeah.
And did they just happen to give the wrong address out? And that's the confusing part. But we'll know soon enough. There's some good news organizations investigating. We're following up on them. We went there ourselves today, but we're following the news too.
Sure.
But guys, if this officer, this first one in the door or wherever he was at, he went in there in good faith doing his job, and all of a sudden he sees somebody. Now there's some questions towards the end here where people were saying that nobody mentioned that this landowner, this property owner, this homeowner had a gun until 3 or 4 days after all this happened. And we're going to cover some of that from the case that took place in Louisville with some of the police officers, and I hope everybody's honest and forthwith. And if that officer was there doing his job, good faith, and he saw somebody with something, and he thought his life was in danger, of course he was justified in using deadly force. That wouldn't have been his fault for being at the wrong residence. If it's not his fault, if he's in fact not the investigating officer, he's not the one that filled out the affidavit for the search warrant, he's not the one that went to the judge and swore to what was on the affidavit to the search warrant in order to get the search warrant, and all he's doing is there as backup and one of the officers that's on that team, then of course he's justified in protecting himself. He don't know he's at the wrong address, maybe on his part.
Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying. So you're saying there's a difference between a mistake and
Negligence, exactly.
Okay.
You know, even a mistake, was that mistake made it? You know, search warrants and pursuits are two of the most adrenaline rushing things that a police officer can do. I mean, people plays golf and try to get a hole in one. People catches the biggest fish. Everybody's got their things. For a police officer, there's nothing more exciting than kicking a door down and executing a search warrant, or being in a high-speed pursuit. Now, the sad thing is, high-speed pursuits, people wreck, people run through red lights and kill innocent people. The thing about executing search warrants, especially late at night, is people get hurt. People think somebody's breaking in their home. Happened in Louisville. The guy said he thought somebody was breaking in. He shot. And that's where there's a new law out there. We're going to discuss it after a while, but there is a new law. So, yeah, there's a difference in negligence. You know, if this is the wrong house, and Sheila and I don't know, but if this is the wrong house and somebody did that search warrant and they either put the wrong address or the wrong description, or, you know, when we used to make drug arrests, my partner and I, we would lead them in. They would follow us. We pulled in first to the house that we were going to raid.
You were familiar with it?
Everybody knew exactly. We did the affidavits. And people would have designated places. You go to the back, you go to the west end, south end, so forth like that. Surround the house. You're going to contain the house. As long as nobody escapes from the house, you've already accomplished one goal. Everybody is inside. You know, the more exciting, and I think Miami Vice and a lot of these TV shows, join anytime you want, babe.
I do from time to time. This is mostly your expertise.
I think TV shows has made police work, sometimes people want to make it more exciting than it has to be. So, you know, we majored in door kicking down at the police academy, so we do it every chance we get. Doesn't make it right. And sometimes, just like a lot of people you see nowadays on YouTube and stuff, that seen a veteran the other night, served 2 tours in Iraq and Afghanistan.
Yeah.
Had a little pushing match with his girlfriend, domestic, you could call it. And he just, PTSD. He just says he wasn't going to jail, but instead of the officers, this is a veteran. This is a man that served his country. And not
He wasn't aggressive or nothing.
No, wasn't aggressive. Just said, I'm not going to jail. I'm just not going. They end up shooting. They didn't have the time to just sit down and say, hey, pull up a chair and let's talk for a minute. A veteran, you know, of all people, are veterans. Let's move on, guys. Let's. I'm sorry, babe. There's many questions to this.
We've received a lot.
Was this the right home? Just the wrong address broadcast?
Possible?
Sure it is.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, that could be the right home. Now, again, we're going to get down toward the bottom here of this program, and the people, the neighbors, brag on this man like...
Everybody that said talked about him said he was a well-liked person.
Could do no wrong.
Yeah, very kind to everyone. I mean, everybody loved him.
That's the truth. And this was totally just the wrong place, the wrong house, the wrong... You know, we're going to ask a question here in a minute, but, you know, usually when you get a execution of a search warrant, you usually have an arrest warrant with it.
Okay.
For whatever you've either already arrested that person in a traffic stop or something, and you found out that there's something in this home that you need to go get. You need a search warrant to do it. Or the person you're looking for is in the home along with whatever it is you're looking for, drugs, stolen property, whatever it might be.
Okay.
I'm curious to see if there's
A criminal background?
a criminal complaint, an arrest warrant that has been filed for some kind of a charge. What were they there for? Were they just there looking for property? Or were they there to make an arrest also? And if they was, is this the person that was on a criminal complaint? Or is this actually just an innocent, wrong house?
Mistaken identity thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of the questions
really sad.
asked, what they,
I said, this is so sad. Oh, man, I hate this.
was it over a weed eater? We don't know.
No.
We're same as you all, just like we broadcast the other night. It's what's been said.
Exactly. So I was going to say, that's what people are saying.
Why serve the warrant at night? This is question.
That's a good question.
Why? That's a great question. Why? We're going to get to that new law in a minute that was passed that says, and then somebody comments here in a minute, I'm getting ahead of ourselves, but no-knock warrant. This was not a no-knock warrant. Let's get that. You can hear in that news broadcast, you can hear from the doorbell
Ring.
across the street.
The Ring doorbell. Because you can hear him knocking and then police.
You can hear that. Now, again, when
What's
last
the
night we
difference then with the no-knock? What do you do then? Just bust open the door?
Oh, the no-knock, you just go up there and kick down the door. Or,
Okay. Not even make yourself
oh, you do
aware
as you enter. And you kick the door, but as you're entering, you're hollering police.
Okay, that's what I was going to say.
Sheriff's Department, police department, whatever. But you done kicked the door down as you're going through it.
Okay.
And that's a no-knock because it's so dangerous that the person, you don't want to let him have time to get to a gun or a weapon. And or if it's a drug arrest, you don't want to get rid of evidence.
Okay.
If this was in fact a weed eater, I don't understand why on that video you showed a while ago, because we were there today and we looking for broken. I thought that window was broken out.
Right, the little diamond shaped window there.
And I said, "Where's that window?" I thought it was broken out. Well, it wasn't that window. Sheila called it a while ago.
It was the screen door was shattered.
The screen door was broke.
And
that's what was on the news.
Yeah.
Why serve the warrant at night?
Good question.
That new law says that along with the no-knock warrant, this was not a no-knock warrant. This was they knocked. They announced. Knocked and announced. But now you got to understand, when you're knocking and announcing, police, and you're hollering and you're beating at the same time, sometimes people don't hear. They just hear yelling, especially waking up from a dead sleep. Now let's give it, we'll be fair, but you got to assume that person's in a dead sleep and all of a sudden the door comes crashing in, grab your gun like most Kentuckians would do. You're in Kentucky here.
Well, the person is disoriented as well. I mean, waking up from a dead sleep. You don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, criminal, honest person, mistake, negligence, I don't know. But he wakes up from a dead sleep and somebody's coming through his house. You don't hear police. You don't always hear that. You hear somebody yelling. I heard yelling and the door come crashing in. And again, that goes back to a little bit of common sense. Goes back to a little bit of, let's get off the machoism and let's just knock, come to the door and say, hey, got a search warrant, we need to execute. All you guys come in here and sit down in the living room where we can watch you and be out of here soon. That's what you do. You don't have to go busting in. I mean, I don't know the circumstances. Maybe they needed to.
Yeah.
We don't know.
We don't know. Not until we can see the warrant said maybe, or...
The new law says you'll serve arrest warrants or execute search warrants between 6 a.m. and 10 p.m.
Really?
You heard that news announcer say, what, 11:50? 11:50, they started knocking, 11:51. They busted through the door, 11:52, the shots are heard. From a minute from the time they went in the door, you hear 5 gunshots.
Goodness.
Were there body cameras? We've heard it both ways. We've heard they had body cameras. We've heard that they didn't have body cameras.
Well, they weren't turned on,
We don't know. Nobody's talking. Or at least to us. And that's okay. We're not. Who are we?
That's what I was going to say.
Huh?
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Who are we?
curious YouTubers, just like the rest of you, that just want to know the truth, want to know what went on, whose fault it was. Somebody's at fault.
Yeah.
Somebody's at fault here.
Definitely.
There was a mistake. I'm still not ready to say it was the person. I don't even know anything. But it may not be the person that fired the shots that ended this man's life. The fault would be higher up, with who investigated this, who filed the search warrant affidavit, took the search warrant, executed the search warrant, took them to this house rather than the single wide trailer down the road, if that's in fact where they were supposed to go. Can't see if nobody's lived there in several months. Yeah.
The owner said that no one's lived there.
I can't see how they got mixed up if that's what happened and went to this house instead of a single wide. I can't see it. For some reason, I keep wanting to say that I have a feeling this was the house. Whether the person was not guilty of anything or not, I don't know. All it takes for the search warrant is probable cause to believe that a crime that's been committed, or something, fruits of a crime, are inside that house behind us here. And you're going to try to retrieve them.
Yeah.
With their body cameras.
Yeah.
Hopefully they are. Body cameras will tell. As far as the officer's life in danger, it'll tell you. That officer that done the shooting, some people's asking. They're saying, hey, he didn't even own a gun. Nobody said anything about a gun for 4 days. Well, that body camera that primary officer that made contact with the homeowner, his body camera will tell us.
Exactly.
It'll show exactly. It'll be the eyes and ears for the rest of us, because we're going to be able to see. He's the front officer. He's in the front. There's nobody blocking his camera. So it's going to show us exactly
whether or not this gentleman had a gun.
Had it pointed at him. What the circumstances were. If no cameras,
Pew pew.
Oh, I say.
Yeah.
We've done said that enough. I've done forgot about that.
It's all good. No worries.
If you mention that word too much, or all these other words, they put a thing up there. You have to say you're over 18 or something to watch it. Well, we mark our videos over 18 anyway. If no cameras, why not?
That's a good question. Why weren't they?
Nowadays, cameras are a no-brainer for any law enforcement agency. So I'm sure they probably had cameras. If they didn't have cameras, then something that is bad.
Yeah.
If them officers didn't have cameras, but I'm just going to say they did.
So
hopefully they did.
Who do you think wrote the warrant?
I don't know, babe. It'll be the detective, who was investigating whatever crime they're alleging that happened.
Okay.
And what they were searching for a search warrant. To execute the search warrant, they're looking for something.
Well, the weed eater's there sounds strange.
Well, you can get a search warrant to get blood from somebody.
Yeah, but not to knock down a house. I mean,
they
open a door.
Again, sometimes all you need is that power. Sometimes all you need is a group of guys together, and it's easy. It's easy. I've done it for 40 years. It's easy to get caught up in the machoism, the adrenaline rush, the power rush.
Okay.
Let's kick the door down. Let's go in. Let's do this. Again, we worked drugs. Our executing our search warrants was a whole lot different than looking for a weed eater, if that's in fact what they're looking for. Because drugs is something that you can look in every crevice. You can, when you get a search warrant, you can only look for what you're looking for. You can't go in that house if you're in fact looking for a weed eater.
Okay.
You can't go in that house and look in a shoebox. You can't go in that house and look in a drawer, a kitchen drawer, a medicine cabinet. You can't, if you're looking for a long rifle, a long gun, you can't go in there and look in a place in your microwave, because a long gun's not good. So it's got to be
But what if, now this is just me, guys. I'm asking a question. Okay, what if Joe Schmo they were there to look for a weed eater, but while they're in his house, they see drugs.
Well, now that's different. If it's in plain view and they see something, fruits of a crime, or that you're not allowed to have or something, then of course that's another charge. They can do that.
Okay.
You just can't go looking. If you're looking for a specific item, that's a larger item, you can't look in something that wouldn't be. Now, drugs, what we did, we're looking for drugs. We're looking for LSD. We're looking for cocaine. We're looking for marijuana, all these things back in the 70s and 80s.
So therefore you have
you
a reason to look
you look
anywhere.
in light sockets, these little plug-ins. The little cans, they make the cans where you can screw them apart. Refrigerators, candles. They make all kinds of containers. Aerosol spray, and they come apart and people would hide their drugs. It would take forever to execute a warrant for drugs.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
Okay.
Who investigated crime? Same officer for more than one. Were there two? Were there three? The supervisor, the chief, the assistant chief, review the warrant and affidavit for the warrant and talk to these guys or the detectives, or did they go see? And I don't want to second guess nobody, guys. You know, it's a rough job being a cop.
Exactly.
Rough job. These guys have it rough.
Yes, they do.
But it seems like was there an arrest warrant issued? And if so, was it for the person who was shot? That's going to explain a lot. Was there an arrest warrant? And was it for him? Is that who they were looking for? That's going to change everything. I don't care what the address was, whether it was next door or this house. If they went to the correct house, and that's the house, and when you see this affidavit for the search warrant, eventually they'll release that. That'll be public record eventually. And they'll make a return on a search warrant of anything that was found. If they found a weed eater, if they found something that fruits of a crime, then it will be listed on there what they confiscated. And that will be released eventually. And when we see that, we're going to know if this was in fact the house and whether this item was found. Somebody posted, no knock warrant. We don't think so. As you can hear the neighbor's doorbell say. Somebody had posted on the bottom of one of those videos. They said this was a no knock warrant. They need to go to jail and so forth. It's not. I don't know a lot about the case. We don't.
Just what we've seen on the news.
What did we see on the news? We seen them beating on the door.
And hollering police.
Hollering police. That's not a no knock. That's a knock and announce. And then they made entry.
Wow.
Sound like forcible entry. Wasn't there.
But with the door being broke, there's
several officers. Is Lily in the city limits of London? Now that's a question me and Sheila had, because man, we drove. We're not that familiar with London or that area, but we was like 5 miles from Corbin. Because we come back out through Corbin and hit I-75 to come home.
Yeah.
So our question would be: is Lily? Is that you people that live in London? I know you're out there because we communicate with some of you since we met you guys when we was over there for Mr. Couch.
You all can answer that question for us.
Yeah. Tell us below, is Lily part of the city limits of London? And if it's not, was the KSP or the sheriff's office accompanying the London Police Department? And if they were, why haven't we seen that in the news? Why haven't we heard that? That it was not only the London Police, but it was the Laurel County Sheriff's Department, it was the Kentucky State Police. Who else was there, if anybody? Was all those officers solely from the London PD? And if it was in the city, then very well maybe so. But if that place is out in the county, then it's a formality, it's a custom, that you would inform the sheriff's office, or you would take a state trooper with you because it's out in the county and you're sitting. You don't have to. Most cities have countywide jurisdiction.
Okay, that's what I was going to say.
It's according to what class city you are, but London would well be classified as a second, third class city probably.
Okay.
I think it goes by population on what class you are.
Weird. Okay.
If out in the county, why not county or state officers accompanying the city? If it was out in the county, then that would be another question as to why somebody wasn't with them. Who are they calling for? They called for backup. You've got, how many officers you got there? 6, 8, 10? Mm-hmm. And you're calling for backup. I think there was sufficient number of officers there. Maybe they just, but again, when something like that happens, I worked a wreck one time. They kept wrecking coming off the hill and icy road, and they just kept coming down that hill and wrecking. Mm-hmm. And dispatch asked how many you need. I said, send the cavalry, send everybody you got, because you want all the help you can get.
Right.
And maybe who was calling for backup there was, it's a bad situation. But usually on these, and we're going to get to it after a while, we're going to read this new law that went into effect, but it says that at least in Louisville, or at least in the way I read it, you're supposed to have your best officers, your SWAT team, to execute search warrants. They didn't want, the reason for this new law is they didn't want another Breonna Taylor?
I think it's Breonna Taylor. Yeah.
Event?
Yeah.
No cover up. There's always going to be, a lot of comments on there, and it's going to be a cover up. They're going to cover everything up. Nobody will ever know the truth. And listen, nobody knows that better than yours truly.
Yeah.
I know all about a 40-year career in law enforcement. So, but I'm going to tell you, no cover up. There's always going to be that one officer who will rise above the rest and tell the truth. Just wait before judgment. And I'm going to tell you, we're going to read the article below where that didn't happen in the Louisville case, evidently, Breonna Taylor case, and much of those guys are still waiting trial or went to trial for falsifying reports and stuff. And you don't want to do that. You don't want to put your life and your credibility and your integrity and your character on the line. Tell the truth.
Truth will set you free.
Yep. Mistakes, or is the house they were supposed to be in? That's my question. Did they actually go to the wrong house, or?
It's very confusing.
This person said, I was told by this attorney, we no longer have a justice system. It's purely a legal system now. Sheila said years ago, we don't have a criminal justice system. We have a criminal system. And that's the truth. It seems like more and more these kids abused and people murdered.
Yeah.
And they're right back out.
Just a smack on the hand.
And
so,
we'll see.
Sad.
Would be a wild country without our law enforcement, no matter how bad some are. And we realize there's bad cops, there's bad preachers, there's bad cops, there's a lot of bad stuff out there, and we just have to try to sort through it.
And everything, pretty much.
Some have said gun was not mentioned for the first 3 to 4 days.
Yeah, I saw that.
Need transparency. That's up to the mayor, police chief.
So they're wondering why wasn't it mentioned in the beginning? Why are they waiting 3 days later to?
I don't know.
Bring it out.
I don't know that that's true.
Yeah.
That's just posted on one of the videos or emails or whatever. I don't know that story. That's what this person says, and it's down through here again in a news article. But
right.
So that must have some merit to it. But
yeah.
Somebody wrote Kentucky state law after 10 o'clock p.m. They cannot do no-knock warrants. The officer should be charged with murder. Well, this was not a no-knock warrant, which I don't think it matters. I think the way I read the law earlier, it's talking about executing search warrants.
Mm-hmm.
Knock and announce, or no knock. That it says 6 in the morning to 10
For
p.m.
any kind of, for any kind of warrant, is what you're
For
saying?
a search warrant.
Yeah.
They don't want you going there in the middle of the night
Because
busting in
of this
people's doors
situation.
because of this.
Yeah, I can understand that.
I think anybody with a brain can understand. You hear somebody yelling on your front porch, and all of a sudden you hear your door, you hear glass breaking. We clearly saw glass broke.
Yeah.
The front storm door there now, it was broke on the news footage.
Exactly.
You hear glass breaking, you hear...
So what else are you to think?
Mobile home door, it looks like a double wide mobile home. It could be a small frame structure house, wood frame structure with siding on it. Either one. That door right there,
Doesn't take much to...
No, it don't take nothing. You can kick that doorknob, right at that doorknob, and it don't take nothing at all to bring that front siding
Wow. Yeah.
right into the living room floor, and
Shoot.
kick that door right in the center, and you can bring the hinges, at least the top hinge, and the doorknob off, and that door will lay straight down flat.
Seriously?
Yeah. Especially if it's a good kick on it. General Assembly. Kentucky Senate passes ban on many, but not all, no-knock warrants.
Really?
State senators overwhelmingly voted 33-0 late that afternoon to approve the proposal. Guys, this was not a no-knock. They knocked and announced. This bill was introduced earlier in the week, Senate Bill 4, generally would prohibit the issuance of a search warrant or an arrest warrant that authorized law enforcement to enter the property without giving notice of their presence. Again, this was knock and announced. They hollered out who they were.
You could hear it.
I'm not going to read all this. This is,
Well,
if
you
you'll
said
Google.
it was, yeah, what did you say, Senate Bill 4?
Yeah, but Senate Bill 4, but if you'll just Google, no-knock warrant, search warrant, new law. When law enforcement officer carries out search warrants, he suggests every I should be dotted and every T should be crossed. And there shouldn't be any room for sloppiness, said Sequel, a retired police officer. Quite frankly, have been on these. Sometimes there is sloppiness, and that stuff should never happen.
Right.
I don't think there's a police officer out there that's never been on a cluster where at the end of the day you're thanking the good Lord that something didn't go wrong, that it didn't go worse than it did. No-knock warrants that meets the necessity and criteria under the proposal law could only be carried out between 6 a.m. and 10 p.m. No-knock warrants. So they're talking about no-knock warrants there between 6 and 10.
Okay.
I was thinking I read somewhere else what the bill also stipulates that entry under such a warrant must be performed by a special weapons and tactics team or another specially trained unit with those officers equipped with a body camera that is running. So it's a state law. For all these people that says there was no body cameras, I kind of doubt that. I can't wait to see because it's actually a state law there under Senate Bill 4 that passed that says that, first of all, the special weapons and tactics, the SWAT team, or another specially trained unit, what that would be unless you just got a search warrant section, that would be a larger department. That's all they do is execute search warrants. But it says with those unit officers equipped with a body camera that is running. So there's going to be at least one, if they're within the confines of the law themselves, according to what I'm reading, not a lawyer. Make sure you put that disclaimer at the end stating that, because I can make mistakes, guys. Not beyond mistakes.
Nobody's perfect.
Definitely don't want to do it intentionally, but
Right.
way it sounds there, they have to have at least one camera. Difference in warrants and no knock warrants. Well, you either knock and tell them you're there, or you
kick
the door down, and as you're going through, you're hollering police, sheriff's department, whatever. Great adrenaline rush. Again, there's nothing like executing a search warrant or pursuits. And sometimes people get carried away.
Yeah, caught up in there.
Do whatever chance we get. Fatal police shooting in Lowell County last week happened at a different address where police obtained a search warrant, according to records. This is out of either the Lexington Herald Leader or the Carrier Journal, I believe.
Okay.
According to records obtained through an open records request. See, my question would, if they've got an open records request and they're actually getting records produced, was there a criminal complaint? Where is the affidavit for the search warrant? What kind of description does it give? There'll be a description in there of that property that's to be searched, and it should be detailed down to the. It ain't just you don't just post the address. You describe the structure, any outbuildings, any porches, anything at all that can help a person know that, without a doubt, that's where you're supposed to be.
Okay.
The shooting happened at 511 Van Zant Road, but according to police dispatch audio and a call log showing police activity that night, officers intended to go to a different house about 250 feet away. Sheila and I were there today. We walked. Sheila and I went to the other house first. The trailer.
Yeah.
We passed this place up, drove right by it. We saw the trailer down there and went straight to it. And then Sheila looked around and she said, "Hey, back there."
Back there it is, yeah. I mean, because it's the first house as you turn on this road here.
Yeah.
So that's what's confusing. If they're supposed to go to the other one where nobody's living, it's been empty, doesn't make sense.
No. London police were trying to serve the search warrant late at night, Monday, December 23rd, according to state police. Douglas Harless, 63. Babe, you can read that if you want.
No, lived at home according to the public records. And the police say they shot and killed him when he pointed a gun at the officers.
But dispatch audio indicates the warrant was for 489 Van Zant Road, a home behind Harless. London police have released little information while Kentucky State Police investigate. Sparking outrage among many community members, leading to a Justice for Doug rally in London scheduled for this weekend. Today's Monday. So I guess that's this weekend coming. Justice for Doug. Seen earlier where somebody said White Lives Matter. You know, if this was a black person, what would be going on right now? See, and that should show people that it doesn't matter what race or anything else we are. Things happen. It's not towards one race or another. Just bad things happen sometimes. They were at the funeral home. His funeral's tomorrow.
Right. They're having visitation today. They had it today. From what was it, 5 to 8.
Okay.
And it was held today. So I'm assuming, the funeral will be tomorrow, which it didn't say it would be, just said visitations today.
WKYT obtained security footage from a neighbor that showed police announcing themselves while banging on the door of 511 Van Zant Road, then surrounding it and eventually firing about 5 rounds. But several key details of the shooting remain unknown, including why officers were attempting to search the house, whose name was on the warrant, and why police chose such a late time to execute the warrant. Police have not confirmed if they went to the wrong house.
This is just so crazy.
London police have declined to comment
Until they get their investigation?
and
Yeah.
Happened at 11:53 on December 23rd.
Oh, so sad.
Which is not the address where Harless was shot, 489 Van Zant Road. Guys, this was out of another newspaper. The owner of 489 Van Zant Road told news stations, WKYT, that no one had lived at that address for months.
Mm-hmm. So that's what's confusing, is because they're saying it's at that address. How did they come up with that address? It doesn't make sense.
Police initially did not say whether Harless was armed, but in a press release 3 days after the shooting, police alleged that he produced a firearm and pointed it at the officer. Well, the cameras would show that. The camera, at least, again, according to state law, they're required, or the way I understand it, they're required to have at least one camera there, so that camera should confirm or prove that statement wrong. Harless obituary, Park Funeral Home in Corbin, Kentucky. I bet we went by that today.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Neighbors and friends told local news stations that they believe Harless was a victim and not a criminal. Guys, everybody we talked to, the people we talked to today while we stopped at Waffle House and ate.
Yeah.
We don't go to London without going to Waffle House.
Yeah, we love Waffle House.
And, but everybody we talked to, we didn't talk to half the town all the time. We talked to 3 or 4 people, but every one of them, all but one knew the guy, or knew of him, or his reputation, and they all had nothing but good stuff to say about him. And he's a great man. He didn't deserve that. His longtime friend, Shane Cornett, told meanwhile other officers. Here's something. I was talking a while ago about officers coming clean. This is a article from Carrier Journal in Louisville. Meanwhile, this is concerning the
Breonna Taylor.
Thank you, babe. Breonna Taylor case.
Okay.
Meanwhile, other officers are facing trial for falsifying information that led armed officers to Taylor's home, which they allegedly had no legal reason to search. The former detective Joshua James, 40, and Sergeant Kyle Meany, 35, are charged with federal civil rights and obstruction offenses, preparing and approving falsified affidavit that resulted in the warrant of Taylor's apartment, ultimately leading to her death. Those guys did some awful things. In order to get a search warrant for that house, the information was falsified.
Wow.
Yeah. So, for Breonna Taylor case.
Right.
But again, if with that many officers there, they'll find out what happened. And again, it may be something as simple as
Right house, wrong address, or
Sheila will play that. It's just a small video. We was only there a few minutes and walked around and give you a good view. You may have seen it on some of the news footage, but sure. It's our coverage of it while we were there.
That's right.
We just wanted to go to the scene, look for ourselves, see what the 2 places look like, how they varied in description, which is black and white.
Yeah, one had a front porch, the other one didn't. It had steps going up to the door, but no front porch. It had a back porch with a ramp. 489 did. So they're
one's a single wide mobile home and the other one's not. Whether the other one's a double wide or a wood frame structure home, I can tell you, I didn't get up underneath it, but
one's on the right and one's on the left.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's
mind-boggling.
Guys, if you would, after again, you might want to stick around. She's going to go straight into it as soon as we quit talking.
I'll play the video. Yeah.
She'll play that video today, and if you would, we asked a couple of questions there. I can't remember them now, of course, but one of them was whether it was in the city limits of London or not. If there was any other law enforcement agencies with these guys. There's some questions that you local people there in London may know. If you're not from around here, I know there's a lot of interest. We have viewers from different states and different things. Everybody's not into the Hatfields and McCoy stuff, and we understand that, and especially here with the bickering and stuff lately, so we're not into it right now neither.
Right.
I can't wait for the new year to get here and move forward.
Start off anew.
Okay.
Sounds great.
Yeah, that's right.
So
What you got, babe?
You want me to just go ahead and close this out here and I can splice it?
Well, first I want to know what your take is.
I think it's a sad situation. I think it could possibly be a mistake. But I also wonder, and I don't know, I wonder if this gentleman had a criminal history.
Hey, babe, that is such a good question.
If he had things from his past that might have led them to him to think that. Or,
wow.
I mean,
did
it come from his work? Did it come from...
If there is a weed eater, if that is in fact the problem, or what they were looking for. But that is a great... Why don't you tell me this today? That's a great question. You know, that is something to know. Did Mr. What's his name?
Douglas Harless.
Did he have a criminal background? Was he ever charged, arrested, indicted, served time for anything? Misdemeanors, violations? What's his criminal record look like? Did he have children? No wonder. Can you imagine this man not even having a criminal record? 63 years old, 63, and he's not ever been in any trouble, and then he hears something in his house, goes to the door to protect his family, and
I wonder who was at the house. Have you ever heard
who
all was there? Was it just him?
No, I'm sure his family was there, but I haven't heard.
Yeah. See, that would be me. I'm not trying to be negative against him or his family.
Of course not.
But maybe, for instance, this gentleman had a son named after him, and maybe the son was the honorary one. I don't know.
Sure.
Anything's possible, I guess. Sure. So.
Yeah, everybody's gasping at straws right now. Nobody, they're giving very, very little information, and that's the sad part. Because when you don't give any information, people make it up as they go. And it leads to more and more speculation, rumors, and sometimes you're better off to have you a little press conference and say, here's where we're at so far, here's what we've got so far, here's, like they said, if they waited 4 days to say that whether the man was armed or not, wow, that does raise questions of that would be one of the first things you would say. Well, he pointed a gun at me and I defended myself. Well, he did this and well, we recovered a so-and-so firearm. Not that he's not allowed to have a firearm. He's in his own home. This is Kentucky. He's in his own home. Has every right to have all the firearms he wants if he's not a convicted felon. Exactly. Or a domestic violence has been filed against him or something like that. Let us know what you think, guys. Let us know what you know. We're going to keep up on this story because it's like the sheriff and the judge up in Whitesburg. It's like the little lady that cooked her mother. Can't think of her name.
Forlina Fields.
Those are interesting cases.
And we don't know anything about those two yet. We haven't heard a whole lot.
Well, there's another person. We're still probably going to go cover the trial if they ever have a trial. Again, I don't think they will, but I think they'll plead it out. But there's other people. There's another YouTuber that's a local YouTuber, and she's just covering that exceptionally well, it seems like. So we just quit. Sheila and I quit covering it because she's covering it so well. She's got records. It's her territory. It's where she's from. She can walk down to the courthouse and get the records, and so that's why we've not been on that. Now, if that ever goes to trial, we'll be there because we're inquisitive on that ourselves. We want to know. Inquiry minds want to know. We're retired. What else do we have to do?
Road trip. No.
You're up.
guys, hope you're doing well today.
There she is. Everybody was wondering where Sheila was at.
Aww.
She's been busy doing taxes and stuff like that the last few days while I've been goofing off.
Turn right onto Van Zant Road.
Making videos. If y'all heard that, it said turn right on Van Zant Road. Guys, we're doing a video. Well, this is not Van Zant Road. Next one up.
Oh, is it?
We're doing a video on the shooting that took place in London. And we thought we'd just go by and get a video of
There's the sign.
house.
In a quarter mile, keep right.
The trailer.
Whoa.
If you remember, it's the
That dude's falling.
yeah, he's in a hurry, ain't he?
Yeah. That was scary. He's taking up the whole
It
road.
was there's two addresses there that's in question. The question that was on the search warrant, or that they broadcast over the radio, and the address that they actually went to. 511 is where they actually went. And I think 489, Sheila, was that it?
489 was the one they gave out over the radio.
Sure.
Dispatcher or
So-
whoever. Okay, gotta go around this curve.
Keep right.
So that's where we're at right now. We're in we're almost in Corbin.
Yeah.
In a quarter mile, turn right.
I bet this is a pretty place in the summertime with all the trees and stuff.
Sheila and I had a couple of questions as we was driving down here, and we'll discuss them after a while on the way back probably, or while we're up here, but
Turn right, then take the first left.
I have a feeling that this is not in the city of London. Turn right here.
Yep, that's what it says, turn
Take
right.
the first left.
Yep. Okay, let's see what we got here.
Turn left, then the destination is on your right.
Turn left. Oh, right around the curve here, I guess. So,
Here's 489, Sheila.
there it
This is the one that was in question. This is the one that looks to be vacant.
There's 511 back here. Look at the porch.
Behind us?
Yep.
So we passed it?
I believe we did.
Okay.
Where are you?
Yeah, there's 507.
Arrived.
Of course, that's it. And that's the, let me go on down this. They're saying that this is the trailer. We're in somewhat of a trailer park, it looks like. There's 489.
Yep.
Evidently, or the story is, and of course there's plenty of them out there,
Right.
that's the address where they were supposed to be going.
Exactly.
When in fact, up there on the hill is the address that they actually went to.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember the triangles on the porch. The diamonds. Not triangles, diamonds.
Now guys, we're going to park off right here for a second. Get out. Does that say 511, babe? You see? You sure? Let's make sure.
Yeah.
Because I don't see,
511 on there.
or they've already replaced the window. It seems like the window was out on the door.
That's it, because of the triangles.
Oh, you saw them?
I keep calling them triangles, but the diamonds.
Yeah, 511. Right
Yeah,
there it
they're
is.
inside the house. Yep.
So there is 511. That is where the officers went to. That's where the gentleman was killed.
So,
We'll get out right here for a second.
you want to just park in that driveway back there so we're out of the road? This is
Nah, it'll be okay.
okay.
Somebody's deer hunting or
Is that what that is?
shooting at us one. But we are in Kentucky. I hear the rooster crowing, hear them guns going. Must be a shooting range around here.
Must be.
I don't know if they can hear that on camera. No, must be a shooting range. Hey, anymore you can't tell. They may have the office.
Yeah.
Active shooter ever was. Guys, you can see they're probably both in the camera by now. Go ahead, babe.
This is 511, as you can see, and then down here, right at a slope, it's 489.
And
so
well, look at the close proximity to each other. I mean, but what you've got here is you've got the difference in a single wide and a double wide.
Yeah.
Now the address is on both residences. There's 511 on the corner. The single wide has 489 on the front and on the other end. So the addresses is one thing, but you've got a single wide versus a double wide.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, babe. Did I walk off and leave you?
No, I was kind of hesitant about the cars in there.
Oh, I forgot about your knee too. Sheila's.
No, I got my brace on.
Sheila's knee's been acting up. Poor little thing. If it ain't my back, it's hurt. We're both crippled.
Yeah.
Now, guys, if you was writing a search warrant for that residence right there, you would write it up as a double wide, tan, beige,
On the right.
white in color. On the right, first residence on the right as you turn down the alley.
Yeah.
But you've got a front porch with a roof over it with 4 squares on it, gray, silver, gray underpinning, tires in a flower bed out in front,
Yeah, so I was gonna say the flower bed.
white gutter on the front of the porch, a little boarded walkway going up to the porch. I mean, it's not totally different than what you would do down here, where you would say a single wide mobile home, 14 by 60. They can get out. About a 14 by 60. Metal roof. Steps on the front. Small porch on the back with a ramp. Big difference in, I don't want to second guess. Again, it's terrible what happened, but
Yes, it is.
it's going to be interesting to find out how that was mistaken for that.
Yeah, that one has a front porch. That one has like a back porch.
Yeah, with a ramp, didn't it?
Yeah,
Have a wheelchair ramp?
That one had a ramp, yeah.
And, you know, Sheila and I talked on the way up here, and we're going to talk more on the way back, but maybe, could it be that this was the residence that they had the search warrant for? It would state in the affidavit. It would give a description of the house or the mobile home, whichever one it was.
Right.
It wouldn't just consist of the address.
Okay.
Surely they didn't pull up here and mistake a double wide for a single wide. I don't see that. You know, could that actually be the residence they were going to, and all they done was just got the addresses on the radio? And could that actually be in the address that they were going to with the search warrant to execute the warrant? And the big thing came when the mistake was on the radio that it was 489 and so forth.
Yeah, maybe they just got the numbers mixed up.
Yeah, because one station said that there's not been nobody living, and it's empty now, ain't it, babe?
Yeah, yeah. He said it's been vacant for a couple of months.
Yeah.
So,
And there's no curtains in it right now. You can see all the way through it.
so my question is, if they said it was 489, which is here, so why did they stop at this one first?
Well, again, I think that's everybody's question. I think that's everybody's
you can't
question.
change it in midstream. Like if it was, if you pull up there and like, oh, this is vacant, this must be the wrong one, so let's just go back to this one that's closest.
No, on a search warrant, they would have, babe, besides the addresses on it, they would have a description of the property. They would have a double wide trailer.
Very
They would describe it.
Snapples.
That's a good one. That's large caliber. There got to be a shooting range around here.
Has to be. Or maybe it's somebody's private property and they're just target practicing.
Could be. All right, guys, there's going to be more to this video. We're probably going to, if all you city people out there that have to go to gun ranges or live in the city and all this and that Sheila's probably right. That's probably somebody just shooting off their back porch. That's something. You're in Kentucky here.
They've
gotta love
large enough
gotta
areas
love
where they
Kentucky.
can target practice.
Yeah. Okay, Punk. Guys, we're going to make our way back out of here. On the way out,
okay.
we're going to talk.
Okay.
By now, you have probably seen a video they have. I imagine you're going to show the news video, the most recent update.
Sure.
And give them a heads up on that.
Okay.
Look on the back of somebody got that for Sheila after we found Mr. Couch.
Oh yeah.
Oh my Lanta.
That's right. Oh my Lanta.
There's my sign. Go around. I left on time. All right, guys, we're going to I gotta clean that floorboard out.
There we go. Let me get my
In fact, you can go ahead and let's see the mailbox right up here, and it'll show 511.
Yeah, I noticed the mailbox is
It's got
here.
a small back porch on it.
Mm-hmm. So, if you look right here, you can see 511.
That's their mailbox. All right, we'll finish up here in a little bit.
Okay. All right, guys. We appreciate each and every one of you. Like I said earlier, we hope you're doing well today, staying warm. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share. We'll catch you on the next one. Bye.